Welcome everyone to the launch of My Voice Volume 5. It is an established fact that women's voices are crucial to creating inclusive, open, and prosperous societies. Yet, women often find themselves caught in the convoluted web at the short end of the stick. The pathways of their progress are riddled with biases, both conscious and unconscious, discrimination, and various other obstacles. According to the World Economic Forum's Global Gender Gap 2021 report, at the current rate of progress, it will take another astounding 135.6 years to reach gender parity. And that's precisely why women need to speak up and be heard. Because status quo is not an option. When you are heard, you are sharing responsibility and making a difference, turning challenges into inspiration, and ultimately providing the much needed support to make life happen on your own terms. To have a voice is to have some measure of power. 21 women from across the world who have written in My Voice, Volume 5, were determined not to be beaten by obstacles placed in their path, but instead faced their adversity by making life for themselves and those around them better. Hope, courage, and fearlessness are their underpinning strengths. While this book is not filled with answers for everyone, it allows us to understand that many problems are universal, and it is how we choose to deal with different situations that makes the real difference. These are their stories.
The pilot, not the. She knew it was all in the mind as she decided to be the pilot, not the passenger. Breaking through her belief system, knowing comparison would only kill her uniqueness because she needed to be free to become her. And that's how she found her way home. And as she said, I wish you, she found her escape plan to the journey within. And off she went, journeying fearlessly from ordinary to extraordinary on what was her journey of reconnection. It was her passion for fairness that helped her in shedding fear and embracing her true self. She learned her 3 lessons in finding resilience through the songbird's one true note. She knew she could have her cake and eat it too because she trusted there was a great plan for her. Though it's true we walk in different shoes, but then who cares for the caregiver? How do you know you belong? Is it when you find your passport to change, or when you end your quest to be perfect? These are their stories. My Voice, Volume 5. Available now on Amazon.
And with that, I want to thank and applaud each one of our authors for having the courage and determination to share their stories. So someone, somewhere, can read about it and feel supported, loved, inspired, motivated, empowered, or simply comforted knowing they're not alone. My name is Neera Gupta, and together with Shikha Sarkar, we would like to welcome you once again to the launch of My Voice Volume 5, inspiring stories of hope, courage, and fearlessness by Global Influencers Publishing House, a publishing company with the objective of connecting hearts and minds of international readers and authors through the power of words and the belief that everyone has a story. And by writing it, you are creating a legacy. The event is brought to you by KitKat Events and Marketing, a company that has been in the forefront of empowering women through series of events, forums, conferences, awards, even building an online and offline community with the focus on creating a safe space for like-minded women to come together, engage in, and discuss pressing issues. To know more about our books, events, or to join our community, you can follow our social media pages. Details of those are being shared on the chat now. After the success of 4 volumes of My Voice book series, each of which went on to become an Amazon #1 bestseller, we are delighted to launch our 5th volume of My Voice book. And with that, we are celebrating 100 plus women authors, that too in a record time of less than 1 year. And in doing so, we have inspired thousands of women and men to transform their journeys from ordinary to extraordinary and enable change. Links to purchase the books are being shared on the chat groups. What you would also be delighted to know is that the funds raised through the sales of all the My Voice volumes are being donated to Singapore Children's Society to support the future voices of this world. So once again, a huge congratulations to all the amazing authors. And we are very sure this book will soon become an Amazon #1 bestseller too. And of course, for everybody who's here to support your friends, your colleagues, your family, please do write in the chat group. Say hello to the people that you're supporting. Say hello to everybody else, and anything else that you want to say, please keep those messages coming in. Everybody would love that. So please do that and support everyone that's over there. So before we start, what I wanted to do is, if in case everybody hasn't seen who is here today, Shika, can we do once again the gallery mode, and we'll try and take one picture. We'll try and take one picture of everybody together with big, big smiles so you can see all of our co-authors in one amazing screen. Okay.
Coco, can you switch on your camera?
All right, let's get the picture. And let's do a crazy one as well. Well, there you go. That's everybody from our book, Volume 5. And with that, please welcome the co authors and the stars of today as we hear more about their journey and inspiration to share it with the world. We must learn to forgive ourselves for being flawed and accept that perfection doesn't exist. These are the words of Susan Birch, better known as the Health Detective. She is a nutrition and exercise specialist. She's also a public speaker, podcast host, writer, and researcher. Susan is passionate about empowering women to take care of their health so they experience greater professional and personal success and live a meaningful and fulfilled life. Over to you, Susan.
Thank you, Nira, for the wonderful introduction, and to Global House Publishing for putting these books together. And I want to thank all my co-authors as well for their wonderful contributions. I'm really looking forward to reading everybody's stories. And it's such an exciting night tonight, being a first-time published author. And what an absolutely amazing event you've all put together here. I love the concept of contributing to this book, because I hope that by sharing the tragedies and the challenges and the triumphs in my life, just what you've been talking about, Nira, that it might help other women with their struggles to realise that they have the potential to create the life that they want for themselves. But I also wrote this with some trepidation, because it's quite hard to share bits of yourself that have been really private for a long time. Storytelling is a really powerful way of communicating ideas. And what I realized when I was writing was that we all have stories. Every one of us has a story. And these help us connect with each other. They help us learn to problem solve, and they tap into our emotions, and we get really inspired. And I think we can be really dismissive of our own stories. You know, sometimes if you're like me, we're really ashamed. We don't think our stories are relevant or meaningful to anyone else. You know, and I think, who wants to hear about all the disasters in my life? That's not very interesting. But as I wrote my story, I realized just how far I have come. I'm no longer an illiterate child who was the brunt of the dinner time jokes. I'm no longer that young, shy people pleaser who was just so desperate to have friends that the consequences of those actions didn't matter. And I've long stopped being the rape victim who despised herself and was engaged in self-sabotaging behaviours. And I think for me, the best part of writing my story was it actually helped me realise how blessed I have been in so many ways, because it's really easy to get stuck in this narrative that we have in our own selves and in our own heads. So despite growing up in tough times in a tough family, I had parents who loved me, and I had parents who tried to keep me grounded and who did instill values of courage and self-responsibility. And all those things helped me get through the dark times. And then I had my own family that gave me a purpose and a reason to try harder and live a better life. So I hope everybody will enjoy my story. It's the first time I've shared many of those events, and I do have mixed feelings about it being out in public, but it's a bit late now. So I just want to say thanks again to everyone involved, and I hope everyone has a wonderful night. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susan. And I know, I mean, I've read all the chapters, and I know it must have been very, very hard for you to write what you've written and to bear it all, but it's all about courage. So thank you very much. And you're getting, lots of messages coming through from Amema and also Leanne saying amazing share. And we've got lots of people from lots of different countries here saying hello from Dubai, hello from France, hello from Hong Kong, hello from Melbourne, hello from Philippines, Singapore. This is just what a truly, truly, truly global group. Choose to be
Thank you
free.
very much.
Thank you, Susan. Choose to be free, and you will realize that you were free to begin with. These are the words of Joanna James, the founder and chief ambassador for Successful Women Group, who believes in sharing new ways of success learning so other women too can create positive change. In parallel, Joanna is Australia's youngest dual licensed architect and builder, and has also been responsible for the rise of the award-winning non-bank mortgage easy business. Welcome, Joanna.
Thank you, Nira. It's wonderful to be here. It is an incredible group of international ladies that we have, and truly you are influencing people globally. So I just wanted to thank you so much for this incredible platform. And what an opportunity. I mean, when somebody says, do you want to write a chapter in a book entitled Hope, Courage and Fearlessness? I mean, the answer is just an immediate yes, right? And for me, I share in the book, and I just wanted to acknowledge actually the founder, Ron Malhotra, of The Successful Woman. And in my role as a chief ambassador, as well as my personal, passion in life is to really help other women understand some of the things that help me be successful in my life. And the journey to resilience is definitely a super skill that I have had to learn. And in my chapter, I share a deeply personal story about a trip that I went on, a hiking trip in Tasmania, and the 3 steps that I realized, the 3 processes that you can go through in order to develop the skill of resilience. So I know that there's so many ladies here to talk tonight. And what I just loved was the introduction when you had the video and how it pieced all of our stories together. And I think that, Neera, from the minute that I got the opportunity to interview you, it was really around wanting to be a part of this movement of women all around the world sharing our voice to lift everybody in the world up. So thank you so much for the opportunity to contribute. And I hope you all love the book.
Thank you very much, Joanna. And I have to say, when I read your chapter, the part where you're sitting on the rock with your backpack, I cried. I really cried. It was amazing, amazing. And thank you so much for sharing your story. And we're again getting some really wonderful messages saying, really excited to be here supporting this amazing group of women. So thank you very much for these lovely messages coming through. And thank you, Joanna. And yes, we hope that you are going to all love reading all of these chapters and take something from some of these chapters. Challenges are a part of growth, and they truly propel us in the right direction. And that's exactly what our next author, Mariam Faruqi, has done. She is an accomplished life and leadership coach who also works with the government services in Australia. Mariam is a public speaker, poet, artist, and writer who uses her creativity, speaking, and coaching skills to inspire people to live better lives and empowers them to transform their inner world. Over to you, Mariam.
Thank you so much, Neera, for the lovely introduction. And I would also like to thank all the authors and global influencers for giving us this opportunity to share our voice. I think it's a great privilege to, get this opportunity and really tell people my story, which I think it is the first time that I'm telling my story publicly to everyone. So it's quite exciting. But at the same time, I knew that I was going to do it one day because even when I started my journey, when I came from my home country to Australia, as a very young 19-year-old and faced all the challenges I was facing at the time, I knew one day I will reach a place in life where I will be able to share my story, and that will give other women the courage and resilience to step out of their comfort zone and achieve something in life. My main message that I would really like to share with people is that we must live an inspired life, because the greatest regret people have on their deathbed is that they did not live their life fully, that they were half living, and half living is always suffering. So you must live your purpose, connect to your soul, and do everything that you want to do, and don't be afraid of any challenges coming in your way, because even if you stay in your comfort zone, your life will not be problem free. And when you face those challenges, they will transform you into the better and higher version of yourself. And that is the only purpose why challenges come in our life, anyways. So I then truly believe that the only skill you need to succeed in life is to be a great problem solver. Just be a great problem solver, and you will achieve all of your dreams and get there where you want to be in life. And I would this is my mission, that I would love to transform lives all over the world and continue to do this work. So anyone here, if you would like to connect with me, my website is inspiredlivingforever and .com, and then plus you can connect with me on Facebook. And it's just incredible to see so many inspiring, amazing women here. I want to congratulate you for taking this step. And thank you, Neera and Global Influencers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mariam. And I love the dream that you talk about in your chapter and how you actually analyzed that dream and then made it into reality. That was very beautiful. And of course, for anybody who wants to get in touch with Mariam, please do so. Mariam, please feel free to share your details on the chat group. And for all the other authors as well, please do feel free to share your details because I'm sure that many of our audiences today would love to get in touch with you. And of course, once you get a copy of the book, the details of all of the authors is going to be in the book as well. So thank you very much. No matter what you do in life, find what you're passionate about. And Sharon Hancock, our next author, lives her words. Sharon is a CPA with almost 30 years of experience specializing in budget and management accounting. Sharon is making a difference in championing women to have a voice and be confident when dealing with financial matters, which expands in all facets of their life. Over to you, Sharon.
Thank you, Nira. Okay, I'm absolutely delighted and honoured to be co-authoring the book, My Voice, with along with all these amazing women. I personally wish to thank Global Influencing Publishing for bringing together these awe-inspiring women. I'm listening to their stories already, and it's just inspiring me, even more. I'm an Australian CFO who's lived the past 27 years in Hong Kong and working across multiple, finance and SME companies. I also have a passion for sport. I was president of Hong Kong Netball for 8 years, a netball player, an umpire, and a rugby coach. I also love helping mainly women with their finances, especially during divorce processes. This has been my driving force behind me writing my story, Passion for Fairness. People always tell us that life is not fair. My response is, why not? Why can't life be fair? Throughout my life, I've hit roadblocks, whether finding a job, whether putting every child on the pitch versus winning at all costs, or even having a woman sitting across from me at a table saying, what can I receive or entitled to during a divorce process because a partner has always earned and controlled the money? These are questions that, in my humble opinion, should not even come into a discussion. I'm lucky I've had a privileged life and received many opportunities that I could never imagine growing up in Sydney. My passion has always been to work towards equal opportunities and fairness across gender, race, sport, just to name a few. When I talk to people about what I want to do, always do something that makes you happy, that you're passionate about, whether it's work, sport, or making friends, because if you're not happy, then you're not going to do it. I'm still learning at 52 years old and never believe that anyone is too old to learn and grow. I constantly challenge myself to stretch my boundaries, and writing this chapter in this book is just one part of it. Learn something new and have fun keeping fit and healthy. And I just challenge everyone, what are you going to do tomorrow? Thanks, Nira.
Thank you very much, Sharon. And I know the difference that you have actually made in so many women's life and how the opportunity just came by when, you were just going to help a friend out and you realized that this is what a lot of women go through and you made it your mission then to help women look after their finances because, a lot of times we just go on and don't do it. So, kudos to you for helping so many women out there. And that was Sharon Hancock. We should aim for pragmatism rather than perfection. And that is our next author, Arti Sabani, who is the International Enterprise Communications Leader at Dell Technologies, winning several awards in her area of expertise. Arti is passionate about mentoring and coaching women in STEM and is a founding member of Women in Technology Group for Singapore Business and Professional Women's Association. Over to you, Arti.
Thank you, Neera. And hello to everyone from Singapore. Today's world confronts us with many different dilemmas between work and family, and dreams and duties. How many of us have felt drained managing these different priorities? How many of us have felt lost and given up on ourselves? How many of us have had the courage to take a step back and do things differently? I'm Aarti Sabhani, one of the co-authors of My Voice, Volume 5. In my chapter, Who Cares for the Caregiver?, I talk about my experiences around taking care of my aging father. Despite being surrounded by a supportive set of friends and a highly accommodating employer, I felt alone and exhausted. During a decade-long caregiving process, I forgot how to nurture and prioritize myself. And I had to learn to change my narrative and remember that self-care is not selfish. Through my work, I hope to reach out to those who constantly give of themselves to also make some time and prioritize their own needs. As the global population continues to age and more families take on the responsibility of an elderly family member, I hope that academia will create a curriculum that will prepare our future generations for this inevitable caregiving process. I also hope that governments, societies, and healthcare providers will come together to address the long-term issues that caregivers silently suffer. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank global influencers, the publishers of this book, for creating this beautiful compilation of stories that reflect hope, courage, and fearlessness. Thank you.
Thank you, Aarti. And it's just amazing how you went from being, in other words, a victim to then being a champion to say that, I have been through this, but the fact is that we need to make a change in how you're actually working with government bodies and letting people know on how that change should be made. And of course, what you have been through, only you know that. And for all of us, where we have aging parents and the role reversal of parents becoming kids and kids becoming the parent, it is a very, very hard journey for all of us. So thank you so much for sharing that heartfelt message that you have in your chapter. And that was Aarti. When we change our beliefs, we change our thoughts, feelings, actions, and lives. Impactful, authentic, and inspiring are just a few of the words used to describe Cindy Tien, a professional speaker who has worked with multinational corporations over the last 2 decades. As an advocate for growth, she is certified in public speaking, NLP, confidence coaching, emotional quotient, social intelligence, and visual branding. Welcome, Cindy.
Hello, Neera. Thank you for the introduction. And hello, everyone from all over the world. My name is Cindy Tien. It's amazing to have everyone here, and we really need to celebrate. So let's just very quickly clap for ourselves. Whether you're a co-author, you're a friend, a family, thank you for being here. So I'm a resilient speaker and coach, and I help people to break through their BS and get out of their own limitations. And that is really the title of my chapter, Breaking Through Your BS. And by BS, I meant belief system. So I'm super excited to be here with all of you. And I've got a little question that I'd like to ask you. And this is really, the crux of what we're talking about today. Do you have a voice? A voice that speaks your truth, a voice that shares your struggles, and a voice that expresses your soul. As an Asian girl living here in Singapore in a family of 20 people, I grew up only caring about 3 things: meeting boys, getting booze, and buying shoes. And I never knew, what is my voice? What do I stand for? What do I believe in? And these were all the answers that I eventually found only when I went through a midlife crisis. So this is why I've decided to write for My Voice, because I know that there are so many women alike, who has gone through the same journey as me, who have not been heard, not been seen, and probably not been informed. And in me sharing this story, My heart is to be able to give a voice to the voiceless and to empower you to step up and to do the same. So have you ever wondered why you are who you are and what has led you to do what you do? Have you always wanted to make a change but didn't know how to get started? Or have you always hoped for some sort of a breakthrough? In my chapter, I share a personal roller coaster journey, which started from the moment I was born, how the circumstances led me to narcissistic and destructive behaviors, how I crashed with a severe illness, and how that eventually sparked off the beginning of a life transformation. So if you have a desire to transform your life, I invite you to walk through this little journey with me and the other co-authors of this book, Breaking Through Your BS. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, Cindy. And like I mentioned to you the other day as well, that I was personally inspired by your chapter to see what you have been through and to then think about, my situation is nothing like yours. So I have no excuse. I have no excuse but to forge ahead. So thank you for sharing this story. And again, for everybody, all of the stories of all of our authors are just so beautiful, so amazing, so heartfelt. And we do welcome you to read those stories, to feel those stories, because, there might be a little of them in you too. Every child can become a CEO kid, says our next author, Coco Wong, who is an award winning serial entrepreneur and currently the founder of CEO Kids International. Coco is a frequent speaker on topics surrounding education and parenting and has co hosted radio and TV programs in Hong Kong. She was a speaker at the first TEDx Hong Kong, speaking on I'm Only a Mother. Welcome, Coco.
Hello, everyone. So excited to be here and so excited to be part of this amazing group of women. So thank you. And I see some of my friends here as well. Thank you for supporting me. And you're also supporting this group of amazing women. So I just want to start by asking, how many of you are mothers or aunties or anyone who's taking care of children? Okay, I see some hand raised. Okay. So as a mom, you know that we give everything to our children. Or as a daughter, our moms give us everything they can, right? So my story is about how I wanted to give everything to my daughter, but I couldn't because she was bullied at school and I had no way to help her because she was feeling very, very badly about herself. And as a mother, it really pains me to watch your child suffer and not be able to do anything. So I share that journey from her being suicidal to now strength to the journey, how we discovered together the healing journey and my healing journey as well, because I was hurting as well, right? So actually it's very hard for me to say it even now when I think about it, but as a mom, it's just really, really hard to see your child go through pain. And through this journey, I discovered how we can, as mothers, help them grow. Instead of taking them away from that pain, we help them face the pain, we help strengthen their minds, and in return, they have the strength to be resilient to everything that will be upcoming in their lives. So I created CEO Kids because of my daughter, because of what we went through. And I also created a charity to help other kids who were being bullied. And through the program, we also help build their resilience up, build their self-confidence up. And that's why they now are CEO Kids. And CEO Kids, not just meaning entrepreneurship, not being the boss, but being CEOs of their own lives, being responsible and taking control and crafting a life that they want. So that is what CEO Kids is about. And I look forward to sharing the story with all of you and also to reading all the stories of the other amazing co-authors here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Coco. And quite honestly, being a mother of a 6-year-old, I cannot even imagine what must have gone through your mind when your daughter first came and said, Mommy, if you don't see me tomorrow, it's a goodbye. So thank you very much for sharing your story and making such a positive impact, and not just for your own daughter, but for all the other children. And again, for anybody who's interested in knowing more about Coco, her details are going to be shared on the chat. And of course, please do grab a copy of the book. And we also have all of the authors have actually shared their videos about their inspiration to write in the My Voice book, and also about who they are and where they've come from in terms of their journey. So please do have a look at our YouTube channel. All of those videos are there on our YouTube channel, and we'll just share the link of our YouTube channel on the chat so you can hear more about our wonderful, wonderful authors of My Voice Volume 5. If you have an impact on the situation, take it. If it's beyond your control, leave it. Kasia is one of the very few women who was able to do that, and especially working in the oil and gas industry. She is currently managing container vessels that trade globally. Having worked in a male-dominated environment, she participates in initiatives to proactively include women in technical industries. Kasia is passionate about public speaking, personal development, and learning about different cultures. Over to you.
Thank you, Raj. Mira, thank you. And what a wonderful group here, all the ladies and all the personal stories. My name is Kasia Sienkiewicz, and I'm coming from a very small city in Poland. And since I remember, I was always curious, I was always up to discoveries. And perhaps that nature pushed me to science and engineering. And it's a fantastic journey. However, it's very male dominated, which meant for me all the time to push with elbows, to go further, to get more, and to embrace the journey that I wanted to take. For some time, I've been journaling, just for myself, putting on paper my thoughts, my feelings. And I hit a time when I was on another crossroad in my life, and I needed to make a decision. And decision equals some sacrifice. And after another yet heartbreaking decision that I had to make, I realized that I need some help. I need some inspiration. And yes, there are women over there around the world that they have amazing stories, celebrities, authors, all the people that we know. But I couldn't really relate to them. And then I heard about My Voice book. And then I decided to be part of it. Because somewhere there in the world, there is another woman from small town, wherever you come from, you work in these male-dominated industries, and you have these dilemmas and crossroads. When I was going through my journal, I found a pattern that was coming up with each decision that I had to make. And these three summaries and ideas that I decided helped me to make a good decision and take me where I am right now, I shared in my chapter. So if you are coming from small place, if you don't have your voice, your women voice heard there, don't worry, you are not alone. I still struggle and of course have my ups and downs, but now I'm wiser and I know what I want and how to get there. So feel free to reach out. You have my contacts and I'm super happy to hear your voice. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kasia. And I loved your story as well, from coming from small town, not being fluent in English, and then working on oil rigs on islands and with just men around you. That was an amazing story, and to where you've come. And then, of course, now helping other women in such male dominated industries. So kudos to you for coming from where you are to where you are, where you are now. So well done on that. Finding our voice, developing the confidence to own it, and sharing it with the world takes practice, says Comedy Goda, fondly known as KG. She's the founder of The Human Conversation. As a people and culture strategist, DEI consultant, conflict mediator, and lawyer, KG has helped transform many organizations. She's an award winning speaker, best selling author, facilitator, and has been featured in the Financial Times London, Channel News Asia, The Hindu, and Times of India. Over to you, KG.
Thank you, Neera. Hello, everyone. I'm so awfully pleased to be in this August company. It was a project that absolutely had to be made. And as I begin to tell you a little bit about myself, I'd first like to ask all of you to type in the chat box, have you ever felt the world isn't quite right and sometimes things don't work out the way they should? Has that ever happened to you? Or perhaps you've observed somebody else who said that. Type yes in the chat box if that's ever happened to you. I see yeses, yeses, absolutely. And when you think about global poverty or access to healthcare or climate change or inequality or war in Ukraine or the Middle East or anywhere else, do you ever feel, oh my God, it's so big, what can I possibly do? I'm just one person. Have you ever felt like that? Overwhelmed by the scale of some of the problems that trouble you? Type yes in the chat box if that has been a thought that has crossed your mind. Or perhaps if someone has said that to you. I see yeses. I see yeses. Yeah. I'd like to share with you that all of us go through two critical moments in our life when you let go of your childhood innocence and realize, oh, things don't always fall into place automatically, do they? Sometimes things don't work out. And the second one is feeling overwhelmed by how much perhaps your intentions want you to do something and feeling that perhaps you're just one person and you can't tackle an entire problem all by yourself. I want to tell you that it's absolutely important that you speak up and stand up for what's right. You are enough. You have influence and you have power. There's absolute research that proves the power of minority influence. Even if you're just one person, you can make a difference to the environment around you. There was a young man who was working in one of the world's most advanced surveillance systems, and he found that they were surveilling citizens without their permission, and he whistleblowed on it. Do you know who I'm talking about? Talking about Edward Snowden, the person who blowed the whistle on some of the biggest scandals of the world, whether it was the Epstein case or the Me Too case, or even closer to home in India, the woman who talked about the importance of safety and security of women in the workplace in the Vishaka case. These are all individuals, one person standing up for something that's not right and making it right. It causes a ripple effect, and you have the power to do it. If you need friends and you need people who you can talk to and get the courage to do what's right, surround yourself with communities and contact me. I want to leave you with three important things. One, we must look beyond ourselves to the world around us and ensure we stand for what's right. As my favorite civil rights activist says, it's not just a choice, it's a moral responsibility to think about the impact you have on the world and to make sure you speak up and make noise and necessary trouble when it needs to be done. The second one, you have the power to do it. Trust me and trust yourself. And thirdly, you have a voice, use it. When you speak up, you're going to give confidence to somebody else to do it as well. Thank you very much. Back to you, Neera.
Thank you very much, KJ. And such a lovely message because a lot of times we think that we are too small and we can't make a difference. But you know what? As she mentioned, it takes only one person to make the change. So why not it be you? So thank you very much for that lovely, lovely message. I'm still learning how to swim with the waves and not fight against them. These are the words of Melanie Voskam, who works as a revenue controller and has over 14 years of experience with prestigious law firms. Being dyslexic, she always had to work 5 times harder than others. And though she struggled, she never gave up. In fact, she speaks 4 languages and believes in getting things done with a smile. Over to you, Melanie.
Hi, good afternoon, good evening, good morning to some of you. I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. And to your point on the dyslexia, I debated, should I read something from my chapter, should I not? The writing was okay. The reading, I'm doubting it. So please, if you already purchased the book, please don't try to read with me, but I'm going to read a small portion of my chapter. So, where are you in the grieving process? This question, seriously. I want to snap at those kind individuals who at least remember. I'm baffled that there's this notion that the grieving is a process, and that this is a process that you can exercise any control over. Grief is not like a degree, and there is no certificate to state that you have successfully navigated through life without getting your sad onto other people. So, in some of the chapters, the authors share their learnings. I can only say grieving is horrendous. It's not good. I asked my little sister to give me some feedback on the chapter she wrote. And she said, on one of the triggers I described, she said, but maybe you should say that it's irrational and that's unpredictable and that it's not the people. And that's so true. Grief is irrational. It's unpredictable. There is no manual. There is no prescribed timeline, and everybody grieves differently. So all I can say is, I wish you to grieve well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Melanie. And I remember reading your chapter and really, really feeling it with you. And you're so right that nobody teaches us these things. There is no curriculum in our education system. And even though we know that death is inevitable, nobody tells us how to deal with it, and we all do it very, very differently, and that's okay. In fact, I was at an event a couple of weeks ago, and somebody said a very beautiful thing. They said they went to somebody's funeral, and usually when you don't really know a lot about the person, and you just you say, I'm sorry for your loss, and then you kind of move on. They had a very beautiful thing that they said, instead of saying that, because it really doesn't mean much, how about you actually ask the person, what would you like me to know about that person? What is a memory that you would like me to have about that person? And that was such a beautiful way for us, for anybody who's grieving, to then be able to celebrate their person's life who is no longer with us. So, well, thank you very much, Melanie, for sharing the wonderful, wonderful chapter that you have shared with us. And I know that it was hard for you to write that. Never be afraid to voice your opinion, even if it shocks the room. This is what our next author, Nayantara Som, a curious millennial with an insatiable thirst for ideating and storytelling, believes in. She is a content strategist with over 15 years of experience across journalism, digital communications, and leadership visibility. Nayantara continues to help brands and leaders drive strategies that are equipped for the digital world. Over to you, Nayantara.
Thank you so much, Neera, and good evening to everyone here. Thank you so much, Neera and Shikha, for really giving me the opportunity to share my story and really giving us the power of the voice. Let me just be very honest that writing my story was in itself a self-discovery process, because I was sharing a personal incident or a personal experience which I have never talked about before. So really, thank you very much. And I think when you write your chapter or you kind of relive your journey, you kind of tend to oscillate towards the good moments. But I think for me, it was a cathartic experience, a kind of a purging experience where I started to even kind of revisit the not so good moments, but also accept and embrace it. And really accept that life is all about the good and the not so good moments, the negative and the positive. And that's what life is about. And I hope my chapter really inspires both women and men alike to really follow their dreams, invest in your goals. It's worth your time. But at the same time, listening to that small little voice behind your head, and I think the title of the book is so apt because trust me, that voice within you can help you conquer the world. It can help you climb mountains. And let me tell you a short snippet from my chapter. So when I was 13, I was detected of childhood epilepsy, and I have never spoken about it before. But I think with any disease, there are a lot of limitations. I won't go into the medical limitations, but I think a lot of taboos come attached with it. Taboos that people start kind of imposing on you, and your life becomes limited. And at that time, what really happened was I come from a very small town of Darjeeling in India, and which anyway has limited opportunities. On top of that, a disease got further limitations to my life. And at that moment where I was like crying, I was thinking that, oh my God, my life is over. I just don't know what to do. It's either this or that. It can't be both. I think that voice, there was a voice, call it divine intervention, call it anything you want. That voice said, no, you can do it. You can have your cake and eat it too, and even have the cherry and the frosting on it, And I told myself that, I should stop wallowing in self-pity, really shake myself up and just go after my dreams. And it had to be everything. Of course, I had to climb a lot of mountains. I mean, boy, some of them were really big mountains to climb. But I think that is what life is. And all this while, it was that voice that really pushed me forward, that really got me to where I am today. And that's my message to everybody on the today, that never stop listening to that voice. We all know there is a voice within us. We all have it. We don't take action on that voice. And that voice can really help you navigate through the deepest valleys, because it's only when you navigate through the deepest valley you can enjoy the peak, the mountain peak. And it was no looking back since then. It has helped me follow my dreams, really challenge the unknown, really be fearless in life, and really face your fears. I think in life, if you face your fears, you really know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. You really have faith and believe in the impossible. So thank you so much, Neera. Once again, thank you, Global Influencers Publishing House. And that's my story. Go do read my chapter, and I hope it motivates everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Nantara. And I loved in your chapter where everybody said that you can't do it. You said, well, I can and I will. And you have done it. So kudos to you on that. And look, your dad has just put in a message that is very, very sweet. That's a beautiful message. He says, to my beautiful daughter, Nantara, the co-author of this book, always remember you are brave, you are capable, you are pretty, and you can accomplish anything your heart desires. So thank you very much for sharing this amazing, amazing message.
Thank you so much. I think we all decided single-handedly as a family to really break all taboos. I think that's the biggest disease we have, and that needs to be eradicated. Thank you so much, Neera.
Thank
you, Papa.
And we have shared her details on the chat group, so feel free to get in touch with Nantara. Living life on your own terms isn't about perfection. It's about living every single day to your fullest. And that's what defines Richa Tabarwal, an HR transformation and people manager at a consulting firm and co-founder of The Bulletin Box. Passionate about volunteering, mentoring, and women's empowerment, Richa also heads the global operations and signature programs of Singapore-based global not-for-profit social enterprise She Loves Data. Over to you, Richa.
Thank you so much, Neera. Although, to be honest, with so many beautiful stories floating around here, you always feel that maybe your story is not worthy enough to be here. But, Nayantara, more power to you. And I'm already with so much goosebumps and emotions that please apologize if I fumble here and there with my words. But are you someone who is always on the go? Are you someone who is passionate about his or work? But are you someone as well who finds it hard to say no? Are you someone who considers mental health as nothing but a myth? Are you someone who is scared to break that cliche or the norms? Are you someone who thinks if you question the work culture in your workplace, it might backfire? Are you scared for not having that next promotion if you say something? Are you someone who wants to practice what you preach when it comes to fearlessness? I want to see your response on the chat window. Do you think you have a voice? Or do you think you want to voice out something and you do it? I really want to see you guys putting on the chat window that you definitely have a voice. Or if you don't have a voice, I just want to hear about it on the chat window. Anyways, born and raised in an Asian setup, as a girl, as a woman who always wanted to lead her way, I'd always wanted to publish a book. I know it sounds very dreamy, but I always wanted to publish a book. And my husband keeps, making fun of it before actually Neera came my way. And I just didn't know what topic I should write about. And here I am with my chapter. But thank you so much, Neera, Shikha, and of course the entire team of, the team behind the book, behind my voice, to actually make it happen. Hi, everyone. I'm dialing in from Singapore today. My name, as Neera already introduced, is Richa. I call myself a multi-skilled individual who is actually passionate but crazy at the same time. And my passion has always been to support underprivileged and underrepresented people in my own capacity. And of course, women holds a very, very big part of that community, or a category, I should say. And I'm super, super thrilled to be co-authoring a chapter in the book, My Voice, Volume 5. It's such a powerhouse of, group of I call them 19 partners in this mission, to be honest. It's a mission in itself. First of all, Neera, I should say I absolutely love the title of this book. And I think I was absolutely bold instantly when I heard the name of this book. So the book is not just about my voice. I feel when I got to know about it, what made me write or what made me say a yes is, the book is about our voice. The book is about your voice. It's collectively about every single voice, which might still be unheard or which is still there, and it has so much to inspire. We all are weaving stories every day, every minute, but are we really channelizing them in a right way? And that's how I felt. And, I thought maybe my story may be very simple, but it might just stir away or, bring a storm in someone's life in a good way. Because it's such a powerful way to convey a message, right? And my voice, to be honest, as a book has captured the essence of every story with so many different people from different walks of life in such a beautiful and intriguing way. I'm super, super excited to read it. And no matter which part of the world you are from, I'm sure you will find these stories very relatable and awe-inspiring. Because there are so many girls and women out there who just need that little string of hope, courage, and fearlessness. And in my chapter, although I will not spill the beans too much, but I talk about fighting your own fears. But if you feel you are at a crossroad in your professional or personal life, and you are bogged down by your own fears, because most of the time we are not bogged down by what others are thinking. We have so many such thoughts in our own mind that we are bogged down by our own fears. Then I definitely want you and invite you to take this little ride with me through my story. Without further ado, this is indeed a celebratory moment for all of us today. A huge shout out to global influencers for this amazing initiative. And I would like to echo this once again, that this book is not just about riders like us, but it's about how you feel about sharing it and passing it. Grab a copy and passing it to those deserving people around you who might benefit out of this book in leaps and bounds and help make a difference in someone's life. So definitely, I did have my thoughts when I was penning my thoughts there. Will people judge me, after reading my story? Maybe. Will it inspire others? I hope so. But I feel every story has a storm. And I hope you all will love this book, not just for my story, but collectively for all of us here. Because my mantra in life, I would just close with this small note. Keep reminding yourself, what if I fall? Oh, but my darling, what if you fly? Just like what Nayantara just quoted, right? And I absolutely love what Susan said in the beginning as well. Thinking will not overcome fear, but actions will. A huge round of applause for all of you who are present here. Thank you so much, Neera, once again. I will leave my LinkedIn note on the chat window. Please feel free to connect with me. If you're in Singapore, more than happy to grab a coffee or a drink with you, and more than happy to connect even on a virtual call. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Richa. And I remember when we first spoke about it, and you said, "Oh my God, Neera, this has always been a dream for me." And somehow you've just come into this thing, and made me realize. And I'm so happy that we at Global Influencers were able to help you realize that dream. And I love your story, and I obviously always love your energy and what you bring to this collective volume as well. And look, to everybody who's out there who's listening to us live right now, or who would be watching the recording, there is a writer in everybody. Everybody has a story, and all you have to do is have the courage to share it with people out there. And sometimes you want to do it for yourself, but sometimes you want to do it for others. So if that is something that you want to do, please get in touch with us. We have shared our details on the chat group, so let us know if you want to write your own story, or if you want to write a chapter in our next book, which is coming up very, very soon. And the title for that is Shaken, Stirred, but Not Deterred. And that focuses on inspirational stories showcasing determination, commitment, and resilience despite the hardships and challenges one faces in their life journey. So if it is something that you think you want to write about, then please do get in touch with us. In fact, we are also running a session on the 21st of June, which is about how to write, publish, and market your book. And this is the part 2, because we've already done one. And here we will be talking more in depth about book mapping, which is really the first step in your book writing process. So please do get in touch with us. And if you wanted to attend this workshop, the link is there. It is a free event that you could register for. And thank you, Richa. There are many more things to be grateful for than worry about. This is a lesson learned by Yogi Sadhana Upadhyay, who is actively engaged in bringing her wellness app Shunya to life. This will be launched later this year. And her purpose is to give back to the community through yoga, and believes that one's quality of life is determined by their daily habits with discipline in place. Over to you, Sadhana.
Hi, thank you, Neera, for the introduction, and thank you to Global Influencer Publishing House. Hello, everyone. Thank you, family and friends, for being here. Congratulations to all the co-authors of this book, including myself. I'm so proud and honored to share my story on this platform with so many other inspiring stories while supporting the Children's Society in Singapore. Very excited to be here. I have always loved journaling, but I never thought I would actually be part of a book. So thank you again for this opportunity. I've been very inspired reading the stories from all the previous volumes, and being part of this has definitely made me more confident and empowered. And the book is rightly named My Voice. My story, Finding My Way Back Home, is a journey of standing up for myself, stepping out of my comfort zone, which was daunting, but eventually led me to be a better version of myself. Without bowing down to societal expectations and taunts, walking out of a long-time marriage was the hardest decision I ever made in my life. Dealing with it in a sane manner was the toughest, but my spiritual practice, which is yoga meditation, kept me grounded along with the support of my parents. Looking back, the amount of learnings and experiences have been immense, and I can only be grateful for the pain and tears along the way. I do think I am still work in progress like everyone else, but it took me a long time to understand that any step taken is no small step, and it's progressive. We all have an inner light, and we should allow that to come forward. I would say there is a lot more to be grateful for than to worry. Feel free to get in touch with me through my social media links listed on the chat. Once again, thank you, Neera, Shikha, and Global Influencer Publishing House for giving me this opportunity. And it's definitely a proud moment for me to be part of this volume with all the other inspiring authors. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And yeah, you've got lots of friends and family who are here to support you. Keshpin, Amnita, Irene, Jyoti, and Sadhna. It was very interesting because when we first spoke, we were actually talking about My Voice Volume 2. And clearly, the stage that you were at in your life at the time, you were not ready yet. And of course, by volume 5, you were ready to share the story. And the fact that it took you 9 months, but we're so glad. We're so glad that you finally took that step and said, you know what, I'm ready now. And that's a message that I'd like to tell everybody that it doesn't matter where you are and what life stage you're at. When you're ready, you're ready to share. While comparison kills your uniqueness, self comparison empowers you to do more. And this is a motto Shobha Nihalani lives by. Shobha is a multi genre author, ghostwriter, scriptwriter, speaker, and writing coach. She recently launched her writing consultancy business, SN Consulting. Though she always wanted to write, it wasn't until her early 40s when the burning desire to write a book overcame her. Shobha made time for herself and wrote determinedly. Welcome, Shobha.
Hi, thank you, Neera. It's just so lovely to be here amongst fellow co-authors, and I am truly, truly grateful to listen to all these wonderful stories, and it's inspiring. Honestly, if I'm to share about a little bit about what I want to talk about today, it's something much deeper than what we express or we understand. It goes beyond how we relate to the world in terms of automatic thoughts. Like when I was very young, I automatically, maybe conditioned by surroundings, compared myself to other people. And as I grew older, it became a natural process. But writing really helped me see things, see the true value of who we are. And I believe writing helps us to make that space within ourselves to evolve, to face truths. And I feel that many of you have faced certain truths, have come to some realizations, and it's all happened through writing. So it's amazing that this journey in my middle age, and I'm suddenly wanting to do more things. Writing has helped me realize that now I want to be a speaker. So it's like I've joined Toastmasters, and I feel, thank you, my fellow Toastmaster friends who are online. Thank you for being here, and all my amazing other supporting group of friends. I'm learning to develop this ability to speak publicly because I'm a creative introvert and I've always been a writer. So I'm stepping out of my comfort zone, and being here amongst all of you, it's truly, truly inspiring and heartwarming. And congratulations to all you wonderful ladies. I look forward to reading all your stories. Thank you, Neera. Thank you, Shika. And I hope you'll take away this one truth, that if you can just write 15 minutes a day, something that troubles you, something that makes you feel uncomfortable, just write it down. You will not realize what comes out, and you will face your truth and let go of outdated stories. So thank you so much, and lovely to be here.
Thank you very much, Shobha. And you're so right that writing isn't that hard, and it's all about discipline. So even if you wrote 15 minutes every day, that becomes a very, very achievable way to continue to write and writing your thoughts, and especially people who like journaling.
Yeah.
This is just really, really the best way to get onto the writing journey. And
Yeah.
of course, to then have a coach who holds you accountable, who helps you break through a lot of the thoughts and the biases and blocks that you have is always it's such a bonus to have.
Yeah, it awakens experience. It's like helps you to self-explore yourself, understand yourself. It's a tool for transformation, and I would recommend it to everybody.
Thank you very much. And that was Shobha.
Thank
There
you.
is no substitute for eternal loving. Having spent more than 15 years in various financial institutions, our next author, Srimati Varadarajan, has established herself as one of the brightest professionals in the financial advisory industry. She's passionate about early financial education for children and financial empowerment for women and is frequently invited to be a guest speaker. More from Srimati now.
Morning, everyone, and good evening. Good evening to all as well. Thank you very much, Neera and Shikha, and Global Influencers for this opportunity. This has been a very exciting journey for me personally, and some of your stories here today have been extremely inspiring and empowering. Personally, for me, I have always believed in the power of togetherness. So I think together we're extremely powerful. That sort of motivated me to write the book as well, write the chapter as well, because I believed that this would have a ripple effect in the society that we are today, and the number of people and lives that we can reach would be immense. Together that we've come together and contributed in this piece of work. I've been in the financial advisory and investment management space for more than 15 years. Coming from very humble backgrounds, I've sort of always understood the importance of money, but money with a purpose, where it's not just beyond, where it's beyond, and we think about the society and people around us. Some of the works that I have done are with young children, where I have sort of focused and helped them monetize their skills. Lots of kids that I know study and graduate out of courses that they're not really sure of. And each one of us, I believe, has a unique skill, and we can monetize it and support ourselves. I've also supported a lot of women who've come back from maternity. I relate quite a bit with Kasia, work for a very highly male-dominated industry. Lots of women, particularly who come out of maternity breaks, are not welcomed back into the industry that I work in. And I've sort of done my little part, and again, relate a lot to what KG said. I've always believed I'll continue to do what my part is, and this would definitely have sort of a rippling effect. And many others will join. I am empowered, humbled with this experience, knowing all of you, listening to all of your journey, and a huge kudos to Shikha and Neera for a fantastic initiative, movement, many more to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sri. Thank you so much for those lovely, lovely words. And I absolutely love what you're doing. And to think about, women and children, and to think about how at such a young age that, kids can actually learn to manage their own finances. And also, again, for women who very often give those responsibilities to other people, should now actually stand up and say, you know what, I need to look after my own self and my own finances. I'm so happy that you are doing that. And of course, everything that you shared in your chapter of your own personal journey from where you came, from conservative families, and to be able to then do this is so amazing. So kudos to you too.
Thank you.
And that was Srimati. When we touch rock bottom, the only way is up. This comes from the real life experience of Stephanie Naudo, who is the founder of Ujivati, a reliable source of holistic wellness and community platform. Stephanie also hosts a podcast, It's a Journey, and is a certified Women's Circle facilitator for Global Sisterhood. As a passionate entrepreneur, Stephanie is dedicated to making a positive impact and inspiring people towards wellness. Over to you, Stephanie.
Thank you so much, Neera, and thank you everyone who joined us today. There are various reasons why I decided to share my story, and of course, one of them is to be part of this collective of 21 global authors. Another was that I saw this work, my chapters, as a key milestone in my journey of retrieving my voice and being reconnected to myself. And at the time when I decided on what I should write about, I called my mom because I trust her opinion. And when I presented to her this topic about the importance of cultivating the connection with ourselves, she said, "This is a great topic, and it's certainly something I didn't practice much." She had a successful career, and she is the mother of 4 children. So at this point, I knew, and we both knew that this would be the story I needed to share. In my chapter, I wrote, I did my best to take care of my kids, manage my home, and have a harmonious marriage while trying to advance my career. I thought I was doing just fine. However, deep inside, there was something that was calling for attention. But when your life is full of activities, noise, and distractions, how can you hear anything coming from the inside? I hope the key learnings I shared in my story, I hope our stories will inspire you to find your voice and share your own story. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Stephanie. And, thank you very much for also sharing your own personal journey, because I believe there are a lot of women out there who are in a similar situation and just go day by day doing things that they're supposed to and not listening to that inner voice that is telling them that something is wrong, something needs to change. And I think by reading your story, it will help them and it'll inspire them to maybe not take an action immediately, but to at least think about where they are at and when it's the right time to take that action. So thank you very much for sharing that.
Thank you.
The true essence of life is to enjoy and create memories despite the challenges. These are the words of Tidimalo Shabalala, the founder of Tiddy Consulting, a brand enhancement boutique agency. Her purpose is to share her diverse experience, connect with people, and most importantly, assist SMEs and influencers in creating cool brands using PR and marketing. Tiddy's passion lies in helping others bring their creative ideas alive. Please welcome Tiddy.
Thank you so much, Dr. Nira and Shika and Global Influencers. First of all, I'd like to say what a time to be alive. For all of us, with all of our stories, our experiences, and for us to just come and be honest with one another, I think is one of the most amazing things. I think with me, I come from South Africa and I currently live in Hong Kong. And I always joke around these days and say my first international trip was moving to Hong Kong with my 10-month-old baby and my 6-year-old daughter and my husband. It's a joke now, but then it wasn't, coming into a region that I really didn't know much about. Having faith that somehow if this is happening, then I must be able to find my feet was one of the passions or the things that really pushed me to go forward. I think what I then found being here in Hong Kong and just meeting so many amazing ladies from all over the world, specifically ladies that are experts or have kids trying to figure their jobs, trying to figure out their experiences. I learned so much about belonging. I learned that every single one of us are trying to belong, and the journey of belonging is a long and lengthy one. And that just brought me an inspiration to sort of help other women, just as I am, who needed a voice. They needed a voice in their regions. They needed a voice in their lives. And I thought that it would be amazing to just assist them, obviously, with my expertise, but more than anything, share my experiences, meet other women, other mothers, and go through the life journeys and challenges just to support one another. So I think I would be very, 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 very grateful to meet other women and connect with other women with similar stories or even different stories who are really trying to belong in their different places, in their different lives, and really trying to find their own personal voice. So let's connect and let's keep going and trying to belong everywhere. And congratulations, ladies, you've done it. And I say again, what a time to be alive. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shadi, and I love it. What a time to be alive! And I loved your story about cultural differences and paper bag versus plastic and plastic bag, and sometimes some of these things can be so hilarious. And having lived in Hong Kong and going through these challenges, I know exactly, because there was a time I wanted to get the detergent for the front load, and they didn't understand what I was asking for, and I had to do all sorts of actions. And just like your story, we had a bit of a laugh, but it is just so important to also then feel and know that you belong where you are, you belong there, and to embrace every situation, every city, the people, and make it all your own. So that was a very, very beautiful message that you have shared. And there's lots of messages coming on the chat group for you as well in support of you. Unfortunately, I'm going to struggle reading that, so I'm going to let you read. I think these are probably names of everybody there, but beautiful, beautiful story that you have. Now, all the way from Hong Kong, we are now moving to India. We must learn to accept people for who they are and what they bring into this world, says Dr. Yoga Srilesh Nambiar, who is India's first transgender person to complete a PhD in mental health. Having been shunned for not being normal, Dr. Yoga has made it her life's mission to make her people visible. She's also a trained classical dancer and runs Kalasari Academy of Art and Culture. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Yoga.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everyone. I am a woman without uterus. I'm a woman without periods. I'm a woman trapped in wrong body. I'm a mother of 58 street children, 7,500 transgender, 3,500 PLHIV, people living with HIV. I call myself very lucky and proud mother. My name is Dr. Yoga Srilesh Nambiar. I'm India's first transgender to do PhD in mental health. I'm the founder director of Global Rights Foundation, where we work for the rights and entitlements and mainstreaming of transgender female sex workers and their child, people living with HIV and migrant workers of different blocks of Thane district. I would like to thank the entire team of Global Influencers. I would like to thank Shikhaji, Neeraji for highlighting my work, for giving me visibility through My Voice Volume 5. I'm so happy. I shared my experience not because I wanted to write a book. I shared my experience because I wanted, and my community wanted, visibility. I wanted people to know the work, the achievements, and this is definitely going to boost the confidence of upcoming people from my community. Thank you so much, the entire team. Thank you once again, the team of Global Influencers. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Dr. Yoga. And it's just amazing what you're doing for so many people out there. So, firstly, of course, to have the courage to embrace who you are, and then to help other people who are, as the world calls, not normal or different, and then to be out there. And of course, during COVID times, everything that you did out there for not just people suffering from HIV/AIDS, but also other people who didn't have accesses to oxygen cylinders and the hygiene cares and all of that. So kudos to you for everything that you're doing, and it's such an amazing, amazing story that Dr. Yoga has shared in this chapter. So please do grab a copy of the book, My Voice, Volume 5, to read her story, and of course, all the other 20 authors that are part of this book. Now, from India, we are moving westward towards UAE. Take a deep breath and go inside yourself to find the answers you might need. And this is what our next author, Mavada Alwazir, does. Mavada is a life coach and founder of Me, Myself, and I Life Coaching, helping her clients reach a fulfilled and happy life. Believing there is always room for improvement or redecorating, as she puts it, Mavada is devoted to helping people live their best life possible. Over to you, Mavada.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone is enjoying this time. I would like to ask for people to really, this is a great opportunity for you to read these books and get inspired. As a beginning, as a child, I wasn't a very good academic student, and I had a tough time comprehending a lot of the studies that we had to study academically. So lots of people maybe thought that I would never be something important in my life, but eventually I caught up. And I always had my mother, Zainab. She was the one who always inspired me, and she always motivated me. And then when I grew and got older, I realized that whatever I do, whatever I try to do, there's a path for me to follow. It's not me that I choose, it's God that chooses for me. Definitely when you're younger, you want to fight, you want to do certain things, and I want to do this is what I want to do, this is what I want to become. But then you realize in your 30s and 40s that there are things that are written for you and there's a path for you to follow. And when I started letting go in my 30s, I start realizing whatever is in my life, being my mother or my father, my sisters, my teachers, my friends, they were there to prepare me for where I am right now and where I will be in the future. So this is why one of the reasons that I created Me, Myself, and I, it's yes, me, I choose where I want to go, but there is another higher being that guides me where I need to reach. And I truly appreciate everybody who wrote in this book and everybody that I met today. You are all an inspiration. And the support that I get from you, Nira and Shika, and all of you, it's really, I never in my life thought I write something in like something, even if it's 3-4 pages, it's for me, it's a big achievement. And I truly thank you for making this happen. Each one of you I have listened to has given me, like, touched my heart in some way. And I thank you again. And I wish you could connect with me if you have any questions. It's Me, Myself, and I. And I wish each and one of you a good luck and God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Mavada. And I loved how in your chapter it was always the second plan that really worked for you. It was never your first choice that worked for you. It was always the second one, which of course made you then know that there is a plan for you and you just need to trust and follow your instincts. And of course, I love how you've got your green glasses and your green apple to go with the book. Fabulous. And thank you very much for that lovely message. Learn to love yourself and prioritize you. That was a hard lesson learned by Dr. Noura Al-Obeidly, a research fellow at New York University, Abu Dhabi. Through her research work as an emerging ethnographer and academic author, and interest in gender equality and feminism, she has uncovered extreme gender bias in the society and published numerous news features about empowered Emirati women in male-dominated sectors. Let's hear a little bit more from Dr. Noura herself.
Thank you, Nira, for your kind introduction and for giving me this platform through Global Influencers to share my story and co-author a chapter in my voice with all the empowered and inspiring women today. Writing this chapter was my first attempt to share my personal journey towards self-love and personal growth, in which I discovered that an individual rarely gets a chance in growth, and that it only ever happens as a side effect of some loss or trauma. Writing about my share of loss and trauma for this book was liberating. It helped me process painful experiences and tell every broken soul burdened by invisible psychological scars that you are not alone, your voice matters, and that healing is possible. And no one has to struggle in silence in a world where people die every day in silence due to this judgment and mounting social pressures and cultural prejudices. I realized the importance of mental health as I journeyed towards healing from untreated childhood trauma. I sought professional help for cognitive behavioral therapy and life coaching. Healing is an ongoing process, and it is a powerful learning curve that helped me rediscover my identity and reborn from ashes like a Greek phoenix. That said, I hope that my personal story will guide our readers towards self-care and understand that their own experiences are valuable, authentic, and validated too, despite how uncomfortable and messy healing and growth are. My message to you all is to please prioritize yourself. That is my key mental appetizer or takeaway that I would love to leave behind for our readers to think it through as they read my story. It is not selfish to prioritize yourself. It is necessary. And you know what? The rest of the world can wait. Thank you so much. And back to you, Neera.
Thank you very much, and you're so right. The rest of the world can wait. And I mean, I know that it was very very difficult for you to write your chapter and to write about things that a lot of people, even in your own close circle, had not known, and to be able to then share this and put it out in the world. And so true, what you say is when we write, we unburden ourselves, and that is a service that we do to ourselves. And when we prioritize ourselves, it is really really a service that we do to ourselves, and it is something that we all, especially women, should be doing it. So thank you very much for having the courage, truly having the courage, for sharing your chapter, and also motivating other women who perhaps find themselves in a situation like yours. Liberation is not about being released from obstacles and constraints, but finding freedom from within them. This is my favorite quote from the chapter of Karen Robinson, who has dedicated her 30-year hospitality career to perfecting the art of service, or as she calls it, seva. A culinarian, food consultant, concept designer, and service curator, Kiran launched her own catering and concept company in Hong Kong. Currently, she devotes her time to writing, speaking, and coaching on service leadership and the true art of hospitality. Take it away, Kiran.
Hello, Dr. Neera and Shika. Thank you so much. It is such a joy to be here this evening amongst all these wonderful 20 women and all of their supporters out there around globally, I guess. Thank you. It's so amazing to hear everyone. I've been intently and purposefully listening to all of our co-authors' stories, and the sense that I got, and I made a note, I took in everyone's pouring, how they're pouring themselves out onto others. And I really embrace that, because that is what I truly believe in. So hello, everyone. I'm Karen Robinson, chef, culinarian, concept designer, and service curator. I was born in India, raised in Hong Kong, relocated to San Francisco, and joined one of the top 10 hospitals for 17 years, serving as an executive chef and operations manager. I'm currently based in Luxembourg, and I devote my time to writing, speaking, and coaching on service leadership and the true art of hospitality. I am so privileged to be able to travel all over to Europe and meeting all the Michelin star chefs and soaking in their stories and encouraging them, especially after the time of COVID, when all of the restaurants had to shut down. So here I am now, going around encouraging them, meeting them, inviting them over for dinner, and coming up with new ideas, to get everyone healed and going. I recently launched my book during that time, called Seva, the Art of Hospitality, and I'm very excited to get the word out there. Today, I am deeply honored to co-author My Voice, Volume 5. In this book, you will learn to apply tools like discovery, engagement, and persistence, just like I did, in order to be free to become me, as per my title in this chapter. Obstacles did not defeat me, they actually liberated me. Freedom is a call to acceptance, and it starts with giving, that pouring out that we talked about. Find out how and why. Read my chapter. And if you want to get in touch with me, kiranrobinson.com, and I promise I will respond. I write for the next generation, the new generation, for all the children at Malawi Children's Mission in Malawi, Africa, who have so many, many precious stories. I write for the children in Singapore and all of those young chaps who do so much work so hard, but are not able to write. So for them, I thank all of you ladies. I thank global influencers for my voice, for giving me my voice a chance to be out there to support all of those young ones. Thank you, Dr. Neera. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Kiran. And I loved that thing in your story where it was where you said, you know, how being in the kitchen was something that, in a way, was forced upon because that's what women are supposed to do. But how you actually embraced that and said that, you know what, perhaps I can enjoy doing that. Why should I feel that I'm trapped into it? And literally that to now it has become your entire life. So I love how all the learnings that you've got in your chapter are so inspiring, and so thank you so much for sharing that. And of course, we're getting some lovely messages coming through saying amazing and inspiring stories. Kudos to all the speakers today. All of this is so inspiring. Self-care is not selfish. The rest of the world can wait. And of course, there's a big round of applause to all the co-authors. Shine on. And of course, there's some more messages coming to say, Kiran, nice to hear you speak. So thank you once again, all of the authors and everybody who was here to support the authors, to support the book, and of course to then support the children who are part of Singapore Children's Society, because all of the sales proceeds do go to them. And with that, I am passing the mic over to Shikha. I think, Shikha, you need to unmute yourself.
Thank you, Neera. This was such an amazing session. I'm so overwhelmed with all the stories that we have heard today. I mean, we've read all of them, but to hear it from our own authors, it's amazing. So with that, we come to the end of today's program. And thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed listening to us and all our authors of the book, My Voice, Volume 5, Inspiring Stories of Hope, Courage, and Fearlessness by Global Influences Publishing House. Examples set by these women will serve as an inspiration and encouragement and proof that anything is possible when you take action. As mentioned earlier, the book is already available on Amazon Global. Please go out there, buy a copy of the book, and to be inspired, empowered, motivated, and to celebrate exceptional accomplishments and achievement of all our authors. In doing so, we will also be supporting the future voices of this world as the sales proceeds from the book are being donated to Singapore Children's Society. I've already shared the link of Singapore Children's Society. You could go on there and do a direct donation as well. For those who are keen to write your own story, we have 5 spots remaining for our upcoming book, Shaken, Stirred, but Not Deterred, focusing on inspiring stories, showcasing determination, commitment, and resilience, despite the hardship and challenges one faces in their life journey. The book will be released in September this year. So if you would like to write to us, do get in touch with us. We have already shared our contact details on the chat session. I can share that again for your So thank you so much. Our next session, upcoming session, is about how to write, publish, market your book, volume part 2, where we will be delving deep into the book mapping process, which is one of the first steps to writing a book. The link is being shared here on the chat session. So do register for the event and join us on the 21st of June, 6 p.m. Singapore time. Until next time we meet, take care and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.